Hey guys, Rick Wilkinson here from the Motivated Paramedic. Wanted to kind of do just a little video on the response to these, I guess we'll call them not letters of support from multiple EMS advocacy programs and support organizations to the National EMS Committee on their recommendations for paramedics gaining degrees. The actual terminology in the draft proposal was that paramedics at some time in the future have a terminology called paramedic practitioner. And they drafted a memo to be sent to the Health and Human Services, Medicare, asking them to refer to us as practitioners. And at this level, they would be a master's degree program similar to a physician assistant or nurse practitioner. And that came out a couple months ago, and there was not much controversy at the time. Kind of a little people saying that, well, if I make paramedics master's degree, I'm still going to have a shortage. Well, that wasn't what really they were talking about. It was to give EMS a hierarchy, a ladder, standards to call ourselves a professional entity by having set standards or some ability to grow, similar to LPN, RN, NP, or if you want to go down the fire route hierarchy of having a firefighter, maybe a pump operator engineer, onto an engine lieutenant or captain, battalion chief. But each one of those in most departments require additional training, additional certificates, and in some, a degree. There are some EMS-based services around the country that also have a hierarchy as far as rank structure, but in most cases, your certificate doesn't change. If you're a paramedic, you're still a paramedic supervisor, or you're a paramedic FTO, or you're a paramedic battalion chief supervisor. Normally, you don't have to go get your nursing degree or a paramedic degree. So, and again, none of this is bad-mouthing. These are all my opinions from the Motivated Paramedic about these organizations. They're simply advocating for what they feel their membership wants. I felt some of the language was very interesting in their memo, that they said that we were going to be a scope of practice creep. I took that as they were trying to say that we would be creeping in on their nurse practitioner or PA scope of practice. Sorry if you hear some rustling leaves in the background. My dog is chasing something. But if you're part of those organizations, then that's okay. And I'm part of some of those organizations too. But if we want to truly be called a profession, we want to be growing, we constantly hear people say that we should be recognized more and we should be recognized at the same level. Again, EMS is, last count, 13 states called essential. That's wonderful for those states. Not sure where the other 47 states are and territories or what their thoughts on and where they are. I think there's some issue when you become an essential service that many states feel that does that require funding? Does that require different kinds of abilities to manage? The state I live in, Alabama, they made us essential in 22, and nothing drastically changed. I'm hoping that this was made in the attempt to be planning ahead and work forward towards other things as far as funding or management or oversight, things like that. But on to what we're talking about. The letter, that draft proposal from the National EMS Committee saying that we should be at a collegiate level, really made some people mad, really upset them. And I was a late bloomer. I didn't get my bachelor's degree until I was in my 30s. Then I got my master's degree. I'm presently on a hiatus right now, hopefully till spring, to start back with my doctoral process. I have a bachelor's degree in public safety and health administration from Athens State University in Athens, Alabama. I have a master's degree in science and emergency management from Jacksonville State University in 2019. And again, on a short hiatus for my doctorate program, or DSC, out of Jacksonville State. All of these can be looked up, verified easily. But I was a certificate paramedic for many, many, many years. I got my certificate in 2001 in Palm Beach Community College, which is now Palm Beach College in Lake Worth, Florida. And I had no problem. Any place I ever worked never asked me for a degree, never said, oh my gosh, you don't have a degree, you can't work here. Now, there was a few departments that I applied to and ultimately worked for that said, hey, if you go and get your degree, we may pay you a small stipend more per check, as a very small incentive, but at least it was there, and I take that as at least they're trying. And this was close to 15 years ago. But if we really want to grow as a profession, those people that we made mad, I wonder what makes them mad. Is it that we poked the bear, that they just didn't want to wake up? Is it they don't want to get a degree? Is it that, I don't know. And if you do a quick Google search, it's very difficult to find a doctorate degree that's not a physician in an EMS. Now, I know the University of Baltimore, Maryland has a public policy doctorate that has a specialization in EMS. Now, that is true. Some could say that is a doctorate degree in EMS, and I would kind of agree with them with that. But it is a doctorate in public policy with a specialization in EMS, and if that's the closest we have right now, maybe that's the one that we should be looking at. But I would encourage more and more schools, those of you who follow me or have people who have a lot more followers than me, to reach out and start asking, why are more schools either not having this? And obviously they would say there's no need. Well, I think that now we're showing there probably is a need. And if we could get more and more entities and more universities to start thinking about not just a 2-degree paramedic program, which includes a couple extra classes, maybe 4 to 5 classes extra for a paramedic certificate to become a associate's degree. My local community college has an applied science degree, is a 2-year degree for your paramedicine, plus your paramedic certificate, plus those few classes, English, math, psych, normally a public speaking, something like that, and A&P 1 and 2, then you end up getting an applied science 2-year degree. So again, these are just some thoughts. I think that if we want to push farther, and we want to kind of, not sure why this made people so angry to put this letter back to the National EMS Committee to say that they don't agree and that we should definitely not have degrees. And their reasoning was that this could encroach on the scope of practice of NPs and PAs. Now, there is isolated areas in this country that PAs and NPs do perform work out of the hospital setting. A lot of this is community paramedicine type work, or you want to call it community health care. This could be Narcan distributing, this could be follow-up care, this could be just public health in general, nutritional support, primary care at home visits, post-public health outbreak visits such as TB, HIV monitoring, things like that are kind of, to me, public health. But there is some component there of emergency medicine as needed. And I know there is a few cities that do offer community paramedics tied up with an NP or a PA, and that can be seen as out-of-hospital care as well. I just don't think the letter of kind of not support to the National EMS Committee saying that would be creeping in on the scope of practice of these PAs or NPs. I feel that probably the PAC groups or the political action groups of those bigger groups just don't want the competition, don't really care. I don't know what you want to say. I have my own ideas that I want to do a little more research, a little more reading, but this was just kind of my own opinions. And again, these are just opinions of the motivated paramedic. This doesn't mean anything to anybody but me. And if you want to chime in, that's your choice as well. I hope you guys have a great day. Be safe. Be the one that makes change in your area. I am always about EMS moving forward. So if you have questions, comments, please shoot me one, and we'll have you on the show as well. Have a great day.